afternoon, YouTube, or good morning, or good evening, whenever you may be watching this. For me, it's Friday afternoon, and it's time for another Friday night video reaction. I'm Mark with Like-Minded Lunatics. I want to thank you for joining me. Every Friday I do this bit. It's my Friday night reaction video, but the Like-Minded Lunatics crew has a lot of different content. Please make sure you subscribe and like the channel. That way you get updated on every new video that we post, and your subscription helps us out with YouTube's analytics. So please hit that red subscribe. You'd be doing us a very big favor. So I'm going to get right to it. There's a lot of stuff I want to cover today, and let me tell you, man, I went down a rabbit hole researching today's song. This is a song I am intimately familiar with. I have been listening to this song for, God, almost 30 years now. Jeez. I love this song, and researching it, I found out a world more about it than I ever knew. So I'm hoping to lead you through the path that I took. Now, the song we're going to react to today, or the music video that we're going to react to today, is for Big Pig's song, Breakaway. Now, if you're like me, you may have heard this in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And in fact, it opens the film. We'll take a look at that in just a second. And it appears on their soundtrack, the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure soundtrack. This is the LP re-released by Mondo, and I highly recommend it, man. It is, this, for one thing, this soundtrack is in my top 5 soundtracks of all time. It's up there with The Crow and Dirty Dancing. Like, that's how amazing this soundtrack is as far as capturing the feel of the film and just giving you some great music. And Mondo's re-release is pretty excellent, let me tell you. It comes with its very own circuits of time that you can scroll through. That's pretty cool. And then it has a Yellow Pages advertisement for all the folks in the film. It's a really cool addition. So if you like records, if you like vinyl, go to Mondo. It's not an advertisement for them. I'm just telling you, it's a pretty rad package. But this song opens that film. Now, Big Pig only charted in the top 100s here in the United States, but they're an Australian band, and they charted in the top 10 there and in the UK. So they were huge overseas, not so much here, which is a definite shame. So we're going to walk through all of this stuff that I researched. You know what? Why don't we do this first? Let's just remind ourselves where we all heard Big Pig first. It was at the beginning, or if you're like me, it was at the beginning of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I'm sorry for the cropping. I'm cropping it for the frame, so that crops the bottom of this out. This is the beginning of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Ooh, and there it is. That otherworldly synthesizer. Man, atmospheric. Ooh, listen to those vocals. I'm not going to go too much further. We're going to watch their actual video in just a second. But that's the beginning of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Now, the other place you may have seen it, if you are a fan of magic, and hey, who isn't, you may have seen this at the beginning of David Copperfield's special, David Copperfield number 13, that aired on CBS. This is how he opens this magic bit.
It's called the big. Blah, 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 blah.
What a goof this guy is. There it is. Big Pig opening up one of David Copperfield's bits. How awesome is that? Now, as I am wont to do when I want to get a little bit of, a little too far. When I want to get a little bit of background on some of the songs that we do here on the channel, I messaged Richard Hall. Ricky is a close friend of the channel. He has helped score some of our original stories. If you want to get a sense of his work, please check out our series When Wade Tried to Save the World. He scored and sound effect all of that stuff. So I sent this to Ricky and I was like, hey man, this is what I'm doing for today. Can you just take a listen to this and give me some of your thoughts? So these are some of the things that Ricky sent me. He said that The synthesizer that they're using reminds him of an emulator, maybe an EMU emulator, and that emulator was used a lot by Depeche Mode in the 80s. And he said that the emulator was probably around 10 grand, 1980 money, late 1980 money, and it used a 5 1/4 floppy disk. So if you remember the very beginning of Ferris Bueller when he's making the sick noises, that's the type of emulator that they may have been using. Pause. All right. So, literally 3 minutes after I finished recording the episode that you're watching right now, Ricky texted me and said, "Whoa, have you recorded the episode?" And so I called him after I finished, and he had contacted one of the musicians from Big Pig. It helps to be a professor of music. He contacted Tim Rosewarne. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not, and if I'm not, I apologize from the bottom of my heart. But he contacted this gentleman, and he asked him about the synthesizers used in the song. And Tim kindly emailed him back and said, "Hi Richard, the sounds used for the Bonk album recording sessions, from which Breakaway originates, were made by the Korg Poly 61 synthesizer, which is also the synthesizer used in the Ghostbusters theme, the Juno 60, the Korg DSS-1, and various string and other samples of live instruments from an album our producer Nick Launay had worked on just before ours. Sorry I can't be more specific about Breakaway. It's been 33 years. Hope this helps." So, Ricky wanted to make sure that I got that information into you, and I think it's awesome and amazing that we were able to contact and get some more information about this song for you. So, thank you to Tim for reaching out. That is amazing. Very kind of you to take time out of what is probably a very busy day. Ricky also attached a few pictures of the synthesizers, which I'm going to see if I can throw up on screen. I don't know enough about Adobe Premiere Pro to do it, but I'm going to try. So I hope that helps. All right, back to your regularly scheduled reaction video. So let's just dive right into this because there's so much I want to cover, but man, the song is the real highlight. So are we ready? Oh, we almost forgot our drink. We can't forget our drink. So for those of you who are new to this segment, we start every Friday night reaction video off with a drink, just to get the weekend started, man, just to kick it off right. So today, I don't want to get liquid on that. I am going to go with Karbach's Chella. This is an amazing beer, you guys. If you've not had it, hunt it down. It is one of my favorite beers of all time. And we're going with it today because Big Pig's Breakaway is straight up fire, you guys. This song is amazing. It is the highlight of this album, and it is on fire. So we're going with Chella today, and man, it's a good beer. So if you want to pop your own beverage, go ahead and do that. Let's cheers to the weekend, and let's get this thing started. All right, here we go. Big Pig's Breakaway. Ooh. Listen to that synthesizer. I'm not sure what's happening here. She seems to be... Now... Okay, man, there's so much already. So the singer is Shireen Ebertine, I think is her name. I'm probably mispronouncing that. She's from Australia. And interesting bit of trivia, she has an identical twin named Zan, and they have performed together. But this amazing, beautiful woman her name is Shireen. Now, I'm not sure what's happening here in this video. Is she trapped behind water, or are we trapped behind water? I don't know, but the lyrics suggest... Here, let's go back and listen to them real quick. All my life I've wanted to fly like the birds that you see way up in the sky. Whoa, okay. All my life I've wanted to fly like the birds that you see way up in the sky, making circles in the morning sun, flying high in the sky till the day is done. Now to me, that sounds like she is trapped. She is trapped and she's longing for something else. But I'm not sure. Now, but before we go any further, my background is lit major, and what you learn as a lit major is that there are a lot of different lines of critical thought for how to read a text. A text can be anything. It can be a book, it can be a song, it can be a poem. One of the lines of critical thought that helps you understand text more is called new criticism. Now, new critics would tell you that the only thing that's important is the text itself. Nothing outside of the text matters. The background of the artist does not matter. The historical time period doesn't matter. All we need to do is perform a close reading of the text. So in our case, lyrics, visuals, and music, to get a greater understanding of it. Okay, so that's kind of the perspective I'm taking right now. It's a new critical perspective. All right, let's keep going. Okay, man, deep lyrics. Like a child in his fantasy, punching holes in the walls of reality. So this child is trying to get away from whatever situation he or she is in. And all my life I've wanted to fly this time, but I don't have the wings, and I wonder why. I can't break away. So again, sounds to me like this singer or this narrator is trapped in a situation that he or she cannot get out of. Ooh, listen to those drums, man. I can't break away. Man, there's so much that we have to unwrap there. I can't tell you how much we have to unravel there. So let's go back. So we started off kind of pushed back, and then she begins. Now we're looking directly at her. Again, is she trapped behind this water, or are we trapped? I don't know. My mama told me when I was young, stand tall, girl, you're number one. You can be. You can be what you want to be, but you can't change the course of your destiny. To me, that is a paradox. How can you be what you want to be if you're trapped by your destiny? I don't know, but I think it's beautiful the way that she is trapped behind this water, and she is literally trying to pull her way through. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, the other thing that we need to talk about here is these drummers. Now, I haven't mentioned anything about that yet because I wanted to wait until we got to this scene. Now, Big Pig is known for being a band has no stringed instruments in it, which was rare for the 1980s. So no guitar, nothing like that. They had a synthesizer. And then the group was made up of sometimes 9 to 10 percussionists. And what you're seeing here are their drummers in the background doing their thing. Now, the really cool part is that Big Pig is highly influenced by Taiko. Taiko is a form of drumming from Japan. Now, this is one of the things that Ricky covered for me. This is what he sent me. He said that let's see. First off, he wrote to me, using non-Western or non-traditional instruments in Western music. Examples of this are bagpipes in AC/DC, spoons in Spoon Man, or the lute in Sting's music. Using that is called exocytism. He also said that taiko, which is just a general Japanese word for drumming, they sound like war and battle, but historically they were used in festivals for dancing and things like that. Usually one drum would keep a steady beat and the other drums would syncopate off the beat, basically play fancy stuff on top of it. It sounds like in Breakaway to me, and this is Ricky, that the drums are mostly used for the low and beefy sounds, which would sound great in dance clubs. Okay, so anybody that knows me knows I am fascinated with Japanese culture. Fascinated by it. Been to Japan several times. Been involved with martial arts for about 15, almost 20 years now at this point. Love Japan. I was so excited to hear this, that they are basically using a form of Japanese traditional drumming. And so I did a little bit of research of my own, and I found that in a lot of older Japanese texts, specifically like Masui's story and some written dialogues from actual samurais, they talk about Taiko drummers. These guys were used basically like the drummers in the American Revolutionary War and things to help keep pace, but they were also used to send messages to other troops by using the drums as messaging systems. And so you can actually see some of this traditional stuff in Japan, and it sounds and looks just like Big Pig. Check this out. How badass is that? Now, the interesting thing to me, as someone, again, who has been interested in martial arts and things like that for a long, long time, some of the things they're doing, so right here, if you look at the way that they're standing, specifically this drummer right here, she's standing in what's called Zenkutsu Dachi, which is a forward-facing stance that's used in most traditional martial arts. Now, when they go... Where's it at? When they're here, if you notice this drummer, she's in what's called Shigodachi. Shigodachi is a side stance, a side horse stance with your feet facing outwards. These are all traditional martial arts stances that they're using. And the drumming that they're doing, I got props. The drumming that they're using is basically the first 2 or 3 movements that you would use for a screama sticks. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. They're basically mixing martial arts and music. How rad is that? Okay. I gotta take a breath. I gotta get a drink, you guys. I gotta get a drink. And it just keeps getting better. All right, let's go back to Big Pig. Here we go. So again, take a look at these drummers, and even take a look at the outfit that Shireen is wearing. She is wearing the same outfit as these drummers are. How rad! Okay, now, after I learned about their Japanese influences, I got excited because I thought that the hook that you hear in the background singers, listen. Amina doki do. Those are Japanese syllables. So in hiragana, one of the 3 writing systems that Japan has, in hiragana, there are 46 regular sounds, hiragana sounds. And it's basically one consonant with one vowel, right? So there's their vowel system, o, a, I, u. There's their vowel system, and then they combine it with consonants. That's what it sounds like they're doing. Mi, na, do, ki, do. Those are all hiragana sounds. Now, I did look this up into a translator. Doesn't seem to mean anything, but it does sound Japanese to me. One is one, 2 is 2. You have me, and I want you. Black is black, white is white. We met in the middle between day and night. What is happening here? I don't know, but it sounds otherworldly to me. Those drummers, man! Oh, the breakdown's coming. Get a drink. Cool off. Damn. Man! Wow. Oh my God, you guys. How amazing was that? So we've got the Taiko drumming, we've got the synthesizer, we've got the lyrics, which are amazing to me. We've got this beautiful woman of color who can sing her ass off. What a perfect, perfect song. And here's what I learned. This is not Big Pig's original song. This song was originally written by a rhythm and blues soul singer by the name of Chuck Jackson. Now, I didn't know this until I started researching this song. And again, you guys, I've been listening to this song since 1989 when the soundtrack to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure came out, which I had on tape, CD, bought it on MP3, and now I have it on vinyl. Been listening to this song for almost 30 years. Had no idea this was a cover. So why don't we take a listen to that, you guys, and see what that sounds like. Now, this song, again, by Chuck Jackson. So I contacted friend of the channel, Todd Roth. Now, Todd Roth is a down and dirty blues musician. Todd is an amazing blues musician. In fact, you can find his music here in iTunes and in Spotify. His band is called Comin Up Muddy. Go buy his stuff, man. He's awesome. But he also collaborated with the Like-Minded Lunatics when we did our Ballad of Cutman's Bridge. Go here to hear that. Now, I texted Todd and I was like, "Yo, man, what do you think about this song?" So actually, what I asked him was, "Hey, man, if you don't, this song sounds soul to me except for the guitar riff. Any thoughts?" And so his text was this: "Brace yourself for incoming musical dissertation." So this is what Todd Roth texted me. That song is at its core a blues tune. Production values around the time it was recorded were not what they are today. And some of the producers, both in Nashville and Detroit, felt that using strings made everything better. Puke face. The backing vocals are way too soft, but this was a huge hit for Chuck Jackson. And I'm sure you've heard it at the beginning of Bill and Ted's, but this is 100% an R&B song, but leans heavily on the blues half of rhythm and blues. Producers at the time this was recorded would add strings and backup singers to make the track more palatable to soul radio stations. And then he put, but make no mistake about it, Chuck Jackson is a soul singer. From his first hit to his collaboration with Dionne Warwick. Going through his catalog, this song is somewhat of an anomaly. Now, we already opened one beer. I think it's time to do a little mixture. So we had a fire beer. Now we're going to go with a sour pickle beer, because in just a second, when you hear the guitar riff for this, your face is going to go, ooh, it's going to be sour. You're going to get sour riff. So what we're doing now, we're doing that pickle beer with that hella Chella, you guys, and there is nothing better. All right. This is the first one we've done a second beer in, but I feel like it's necessitated. All right. Now remember, Big Pig's version, 1988. This version, by Chuck Jackson, 1973. Now, the interesting thing about it is how much the song changes. Now, a few minutes ago, I said that with the Big Pig version, I was using a new criticism, a critical perspective to analyze it, ignoring everything except the song and lyrics itself. But I think it's almost impossible now to do that with Chuck Jackson, a man who likely had to endure segregation, racial prejudice on a level that we can only only have nightmares about. Now let's listen to it with that in mind and listen to Chuck Jackson's version. We ready? Hang on, let's back up. There we go. Okay, so it sounds so far pretty soul, pretty rhythm and soul. But wait. What the hell? What the hell just happened? Listen to that guitar. Ooh, damn.
All my life I wanted to fly like the birds that you see up in the sky, making circles in the morning sun, flying high in the sky till the day is done. I can't break away.
Man, how much has the meaning of this song changed? I think it's impossible now to not view this song as a song about racial segregation, about a man longing to be something that society won't let him be. Oh, man.
Like a child in his fantasy, punching holes in the walls of reality. 'Cause all my life I wanted to fly, but I don't have no wings and I wonder why.
Damn. Again, how much more impact does the song have now when you're looking at this black man who, again, probably had to endure shit that we can only have nightmares about? I don't have the wings and I wonder why.
I can't break away.
What the hell? Listen to that. His background singers are basically using the same Japanese style. What I thought was hiragana consonant vowel sounds in Big Pig. I mean, that Doki Do is not Japanese, you guys. I was mistaken on that. So, again, this is something I had to ask Ricky about. Basically, what's happening here, there are really two things happening. Something called vocal dissolution and then vocal gesturing. So, a vocal dissolution is when a singer or a poet breaks down a word or words into just component sounds. And then vocal gesturing is when you depict in sound an essential part of the story. So essentially what happens is it's not like scatting. It's basically taking vocal sounds and trying to craft them to create an ambiance or a meaning within the narrative of the song. Think in terms of like Whiskey in the Jar. Musha Reim da ba doo da ba da. That means nothing. It's not Gaelic. It doesn't mean anything. Or in Aiko Aiko, Giacomo Finaye sounds French, ain't French. It's just a series of sounds. It's supposed to craft kind of a tone for the song. That's what's happening here. Now that's really the only change in lyric from Chuck Jackson to Big Pig. Listen to it again. Stand tall, boy, don't crawl. You're number one. Again, think in terms of the time period. Think in terms of the atrocities this man must have either seen, heard, or been privy to.
You can be what you wanna be, but you can't change the course of your destiny.
Woo!
Break away.
Man. All right, now remember this part in Big Pig? I said this part kind of had an otherworldly feel to it. I don't think it does in Chuck Jackson's version. I think that this has a very personal feeling to it. One is one.
Two is two.
Two is two.
You are me, I am you.
You want me, I am you.
Black is black,
Black is black.
white is white.
White is white.
Come down in the middle, between day and night.
Come down in the middle between day and night. Okay. Is he saying here, and I'm asking, is he saying black is black over here, white is white over here? We need to meet in the middle, come day or night. Is that what he's saying? Or is there something more nefarious there? Is there I don't know, but is there a hint of something bad happening there between day and night? I really don't know. It's ambiguous to me, but I do think it takes on a much more personal meaning, much more personal than Big Pig.
White is white. Come down in the middle, between day and night. I can't break away. No, I can't break away.
Now, the funny thing to me is that synthesizer stuff, I thought there's no way that Chuck Jackson had that in his version. Of course he does. It's the stringed instruments, not synthesizer, but it's that bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, bum, bum. It's that part, but it's with stringed instruments. Ba, bum, bum. Huh. It's the same as Big Pig. Man. Wow. Well, I hope you liked that, you guys. I was so excited to show you all that stuff. That was a rabbit hole that I went down. So, in the interest of full disclosure, this wasn't originally the song I was going to do this week. I had one on the list, so I thought, I'll do that. And then things kind of got away from me, and I didn't get to plan as much as I wanted. I thought, you know what? I'll just do Big Pig. I know that song. I know that video. I can do it with my eyes closed. And then I went down that rabbit hole, you guys, and I got lost. And in a good way. I feel like it revealed more about that song than I have ever known. And it introduced me to Chuck Jackson, who is amazing. So go look him up. Man, I hope this was a good episode for you. I know it was a little longer than the other ones. Hopefully it flew by for you as it flew by for me. Again, this week I went with, let me go ahead and show those to you. Again, I went with the Chella. Very good. And then if you get a chance, pick up this Martin House Pickle Beer. 1-to-1 ratio is amazing. These two breweries should team up. That's just my 2 cents. All right, folks. Leave me a comment if you like this episode. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. I hope you had a good week. I hope you have an even better weekend. And I'll see you in the near future. Take care of yourselves.